how did a guy from Ohio that went to Cookeville High School become the director of schools in White County, Tennessee? I said, by the grace of God, maybe.
All right, what's up, Jack?
Nothing much.
Hey, everybody. We're back. Commentators Podcast, episode 3 now. Really rolling them out on a decent schedule nowadays.
Weekly for the past week.
Right. Yeah. Last one's doing pretty good. It was a long one with Coach D, a little over an hour, and I've heard a few people watched every second of it.
Yeah. I got a couple messages about it, so I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, my grandma, she was spitting some references from it, you know. She said something about when I called Reagan a loser.
Yeah.
And that was like 45 minutes in, so she must be a true fan.
My aunt in Ohio watches like every episode.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, you know what, Jack? Today, let's jump right into it. This is a man. I don't want to keep waiting. All right, so keeping it in the family from the last episode, our third guest of the year needs a little introduction. You'll learn all about him here in a second. You know him. You love him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dronebarger.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. You can throw those. You'll give some headphones on.
Yeah, we'll make it official there.
How you doing, Mr. D?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how's it been going?
Well, it's good. It's been a tough week in White County schools for us, and not indicative of our school system and our school community. But we'll rise from it. We'll rise stronger in the end, and
right.
That's just what White County does. Is we face things head on and take on the challenges as they come, and we work together to just love kids, work hard, and pursue excellence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to try to be your little break from that, you know?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. I will appreciate the reprieve for a few minutes.
Yeah, I'd say, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking time out. You know, obviously you're a busy guy, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad to do it. This is exciting, and I'm really proud of this program, proud of you guys. And,
thank you.
I tell people all the time, the worst part about my job is that I don't get to spend time with kids and students, young men, young women. Everything we do is about students, but we don't get to spend enough time with them as administrators. So, right. I enjoy the process and enjoy the opportunity to hang out with you guys for a few minutes.
Yeah, well, obviously you haven't been a director of schools forever, so give us your origin story, you know?
Yeah, so I was a soccer coach. I was starting college and, played a lot of soccer. I played everything growing up, but soccer was kind of my number one, and I thought, what could I do with soccer? And I thought, well, I'll be a soccer coach. That'd be a great way to continue that love of the sport, and I loved history as well, and so I studied social studies in college, and was going to be a secondary high school social studies teacher. Wound up at middle school and teaching 8th grade for about 10 years, and I realized that I loved the classroom as much as I loved the soccer pitch, and so just really enjoyed being an educator and still do, and that evolved into, like I said, 10 years as a teacher. Then I became an elementary school principal. I was at Northfield Elementary for 8 years. Loved that. It was a great time. And then this is my 8th year as director of schools here in White County.
Well, looking back on soccer, I know Coach D told us to kind of touch on it, how you're going to be his assistant coach.
How does that feel?
How's that dynamic?
Well, that hasn't been confirmed by the school board yet, but we still got to get their permission. Yeah, I would love to help out. We've had an opening there, and Coach D, which is still weird for me not to be Coach D. I heard that the other day, and I turned and I realized, they're not talking to me. They're talking about Cameron Dronebarger. But no, it's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. In my role as director, I'm okay being the second guy. I think I'd be good being an assistant right now in some roles. I let somebody else have the big shoulders there. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get that opportunity to work with guys. And I tell people all the time, I don't know if I know much about school systems. I don't know anything about women, but I know a lot about soccer. And so I think I can help in that regard. So looking forward to maybe that possibility. I'm sure there'll be days with my day job that I can't be out there all that time, but if I can get any time out there, I think I have something to offer, and I look forward to it.
How long has it been since you coached last?
Well, I coached Saturday for my daughter's YMCA team, and so I've not been completely out of it for a while, but probably 2016. My oldest son was a senior, and Cameron was a freshman, and so I helped out, and that was cool because they were both on the field at the same time. So in an official school capacity, probably 2016.
Nice. Well, I guess you're excited to get back to it then.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's it's always something I've always had an interest in. I've been around soccer since it's been in White County, and so it's been fun to watch it grow. It's one of my goals as a director of schools to work on that athletic complex that we built at the middle school, and it wasn't just about soccer, but it was a lot about soccer. I'll admit, after coaching out on some cow pastures and playing on some subpar pitches over the years, I'm so proud to have a facility that other people come to our town now and say, wow, Sparta's got some nice facilities. And it was important those kids, I keep saying kids, but students at the middle school, they had to leave campus to play. The baseball team, the softball team all had to go somewhere else. And those students don't drive, so it was hard on parents. And so it's just really proud to be able to provide that opportunity for folks, and just really proud, like I said, when I hear other people come from other towns and be impressed with that facility.
Yeah, well, you can say kids. It's a relative term, compared to you.
Well, no offense. Yeah, I'm really old. So when I'm saying kids, it's more of a reflection on me and my age.
So middle school teacher, then principal at Northfield, and then now superintendent. What are the best and worst parts of each job, kind of, and what's your favorite?
Well, I don't know. There's pros and cons to all. I mean, I still believe I'm a teacher at heart. I've been away from that, from the classroom for a long time now. But I try to do my day job and make decisions based on what it's like. I put myself in that position. What's it like to be a teacher? And, my goal is to always do what's best for students first. And then if I can make teachers and big people happy after that's the icing on the cake. And a lot of times we've been able to do that. But students first is always my approach in all our decisions. I love the classroom. A lot of things that I really enjoyed and miss to this day. But there are things that I look on now and I think, well, maybe I wanted to go to the next level and I could help teachers do a better job. And so that's what led me into a principalship, and loved my time. I'd never been in elementary school when I moved to the elementary level when I went to Northfield. So I had a lot to learn, about how elementary school works, and have so much respect for those people and the job they do every day. And they work really, really hard. And so that was a great time there, and my boys got to go to school there while I was there as their principal. I loved it. Not sure if they did, but that was neat. And, and then it led to this point where I thought, okay, maybe I can help principals. At this point, maybe I can get to a point where I help them do their job and help administrators and supervisors. And so that's why I was interested in this role. And I like to think that we do that. It's not perfect, and there's no school system that is, but I like to think that we do a really good job in White County of supporting our principals and our administrators, our teachers, to let them get in the trenches and do the real heavy lifting.
Yeah, I think so too. So how was the superintendent job presented to you? How'd that happen?
Yeah, so Sandra Crouch was retiring and had done a fantastic job, and I had worked for Mr. Donnie Haley prior to that, who he hired me, and it was really good to me, gave me opportunities, and gave me the opportunity to be a principal as well. But Ms. Crouch was retiring in 2016, and just felt like it was an opportunity to, to maybe help in another way. And so I was always looking for, challenges and opportunities, and kind of threw my hat in the ring, and amongst some really talented folks and colleagues that I'd worked with, and it was probably one of the least experienced people in that field, but was really honored and blessed to have the opportunity to serve in this role. And nobody goes into this job saying, hey, or grows up saying, I want to be a superintendent one day. There's no kid in elementary school right now saying, I want to be a director of schools. That just kind of, they say they want to be a teacher, and they might even want to be maybe principal, but this job just kind of happens. And so I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and was fortunate and blessed to, have the opportunity to serve in this role, and so honored to do so.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, pretty much ever since we've been old enough to know about the central office, what goes on. You've been the superintendent, so I mean, no bad things to say from us.
Well, thanks. And and we take the bad with the good, and we own that, as we said. And we have a really, really good school system, and it's not because of me; it's because of the people that are here in the schools and in the classrooms. The teachers and the aides. You know them, and they genuinely care about kids and work hard to love them and care for them each day and to teach them. And I'm just fortunate to stand on their shoulders each day.
Right. Well, I've always said White County, it doesn't feel like an institution. You really. You can have a connection with teachers. It's not personal, but you don't feel like they're just here to do their job and get paid and go home.
Yeah, I hope you feel that way. I mean, we want it to be a family atmosphere. We feel that way as colleagues, and families are often weird and dysfunctional, and we are, and you know, it can be that way sometimes. But at the end of the day, we love each other, and we're trying to support each other, and keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I've heard you say verbatim almost that with a name like Dronebarger, I'm not from here. So where are you from? And
yeah, if you hear the name Dronebarger, we're related. Yeah, but I'm originally from Ohio. I was born in Akron or near Akron. I moved to Tennessee actually for a year. I lived in Hendersonville and then moved back and was kind of grew up when I was your age in Cincinnati, and that's where I kind of cut my teeth. And so unfortunately, I still have a lot of sports affiliation fandom for my Ohio teams. I don't have anything against UT. I went to school there for a while. But yeah, I kind of grew up in Cincinnati. I tell people all the time, you know, I am an Ohio State fan, college football. I'm a Bengals fan, long-suffering Reds fan, and you know, I just grew up rooting for those when I was your age. I grew up rooting for those guys, and you just kind of stick with it. I tell people all the time, like, look, I get it. I live in Tennessee. I root for them, but if you moved to Ohio right now, you wouldn't get a new mom. You'd still love the one you grew up with. You know, you still hang with her, and but so yeah, so that's where we are. So I, you know, don't root against anybody. There's one team I root against, but it's not Tennessee. But we won't say that name. But yeah, no, I'm all for. I support Tennessee. I love living here. I love it. I'm old enough, and I can move back if I wanted to, but I don't because I love Tennessee. I love Sparta. I love being here.
Awesome. Yeah. What are some of the main differences
between the North and the South?
No.
I mean, we go into Civil War discussion here. But, no.
Tennessee and Ohio, I guess, just as a whole, like where you've lived. I guess you can't say as a whole.
Well, I don't know. It's, I don't want to stereotype too much, but, when I moved here, like my friends, when I was your age, they were like, do they have electricity? Do y'all wear shoes? And I'm like, yes, they have running water and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if they were serious, but no, it's great. I mean, I have family that still lives up there. It still lives up in Ohio in that area. And, it's just a different way of life. People are people. There's similarities and differences everywhere you go. There's regionalities, different dialects, and there's things. I know, some of the conversation, I have probably a very deep Southern accent now. I don't realize it when I go up there. They're like, "Oh, listen to him talk," and so you say things you don't realize. But it's fun. I mean, people are people. There's great people everywhere, and like I said, I choose to live here. Overall, I would generally say, and I think most people would say, the Southern area is more hospitable. People are friendlier in general. There's probably more church-going people in general, and I don't think that's stereotypical. I think that's backed by data.
Right.
And there's a reason there are a lot of people who are moving here from areas like that. So, lower taxes, different political climate, a lot of things that we're hearing from people these days. But like I said, great people everywhere, but I choose to live here for a reason.
Yeah, I guess you beat the curve because it's a lot of people are moving in around here right
they
now.
They are. They're coming from all over.
Everywhere.
And, we watch that as a school system, and I'm on the county planning commission, so we're responsible, when people are kind of subdividing their properties, these big farms that are being kind of cut up into things. And there's a lot of controversy on that. People say, we don't want to cut up these farms. Well, I can't really stop that. If you own a piece of land and you want to subdivide it, that's your deal. I can't stop that, but we just have to make sure we do it within the regulations. But a lot of new houses being built all over. You see it all over the county. You drive out in the country, they're going up everywhere. It hasn't equaled students though yet. We're not seeing a big tick. Our enrollment is still lower than it was pre-COVID. So it hasn't equated students just yet, but we definitely keep an eye on that.
Yeah, working for a moving company, we've seen a lot of California residents moving this way too. That's primarily,
like I said, they're coming. They're I hear that they're getting away from politics and taxes in other states, and they're coming here, and that's what's great about Tennessee. That hasn't. They're not bringing a lot of kids with them right now, and that's at least that's the perspective we have from the school system.
Well, I know I said we'd be a break. We won't get controversial, but this is a controversial topic.
Okay,
you went to Cookeville High School.
Yeah, man. I'm not proud of it. No disrespect, but that's where my parents moved me, and that's before I even knew Sparta was a place.
Not by choice.
So, and so no disrespect to Cookeville. I understand the rivalry, but my blood is maroon and gray, and so I did go to 4 years of school there. I got to play on the first soccer team that Cookeville ever had, so that was the first 4 years. That was fun. We moved there And as I said, soccer was one of my thing, and they said, well, we don't have soccer. And I was like, that's not going to work. And so several families got together, and they put together it was a co-ed soccer team the first couple of years. And so I've been around, as I said, soccer as long as it's been around this area. But I did graduate from Cookeville High School. I tell people all the time, how did a guy from Ohio that went to Cookeville High School become the director of schools in White County, Tennessee? I said, by the grace of God, maybe.
Infiltrated the system, I guess.
Yeah. I hope over the years that I have shown my devotion to the maroon and gray here in Sparta. I know with a name like Dronebarger, I'll never be from here, but I am true through and through White County.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your son, Cameron, our teacher, for a second. He's been awesome. Like, it's been great. I mean, he said that you've always told him not to get into education.
Well, and that's something, we need to work on as educators, because it's a tough business.
Right.
It's it doesn't pay what a lot of people that go to school that long to get degrees. It doesn't pay that way. So people don't go into it for the money, and we need to be better. I say we as administrators and teachers, we need to be better ambassadors for our craft, and we need good people to be great teachers. And
right.
I'm really proud of it. It's really weird that my son works for me and works for our school system, and he doesn't answer directly to me. He has several principals in between me and him, so I don't oversee his day-to-day operations at all. But it's strange, but it's exciting because I know who Cameron is, and I know he's a great person, and I know he has a lot of gifts and talents, and so I'm excited that he's chosen to use it in teaching.
Yeah.
He could have gone into a lot of things and actually started in something different in college and switched into this, and I'm proud of him, and we need all the great people we can get, working with our students, and so I'm really proud for that regard.
And he's really done an incredible job. I mean, everybody in the AV program loves him, so
he's great at it, because it's easy to be a young teacher with kids our age, and like he's good at like being against being a pushover, if that makes sense. Like he tells you where he stands, but he's not like making it his whole deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. We do talk. We talk
right.
At home around the dinner table. We talk a little bit about business, and he seems like he's doing a good job of connecting with students, but at the same time drawing the line between friend and teacher, and that's the key in having that communication. So I hear that. I hear it a lot from a lot of adults as well. Just saying, hey, we think he's doing a great job, and that's what I expect.
Right.
But it's nice to hear and he's standing on his own 2 feet, it is interesting, a dynamic, being the director of schools and having him as a teacher. But I'm excited to have him.
Yeah, so it's like no pressure, coming in. Like he had no pressure, I'm sure.
Yeah. A name like Dronebarger, you can't hide.
So sticking to AV, looking back last year, me and Max got our first opportunity to commentate with you.
Yep.
And so have you considered coming back and commentating, making a guest appearance?
Yeah, I enjoyed doing that. That happened. There was a void, and I told Miss Allen, anytime you need me, I'll be glad to. I'm not a professional at it by any means. I just wound up helping out with that, but I'd love to help anytime you need it. I think at some point I felt like, the design behind the whole idea behind the whole process was to get students, behind the mic, like yourself, and get you experience. And, I've got my career. I know what I'm doing, but, you guys are still working on that, figuring that out. So I wanted to give you all as much opportunity. So, I talked to Miss Allen. I said, I'm going to kind of step out of the way and let these guys get in there and give them more opportunities. So, and y'all have done a fantastic job. I listened to you. I was at the football game one night and listening to you at the same time. And so I was actually double dipping there. But, and I hear so many great comments about the great work you all do. They really enjoy watching the games and listen to you all commentate, and I would always be open to coming back, but this is y'all's show, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's a little known fact. Really, the only training we got was one basketball game where you took both of us. I did the girls' game, he did the boys' game, and that was it.
Yeah. And then
from then on,
jump in there.
Kind of got the boot.
yeah. Just get in there, and that's the best way to learn. It's kind of learn by experience, and so you're doing great, and I'm excited for the program. I got to watch the live announcements here this morning at the school, and then jump right into the podcast, and people are just so amazed. I know the 8th graders just came over for a career fair to look at all the CTE programs, and some parents were with them as well, and they come through, and everybody's just so amazed at the studio and all the things that go on. It's a far cry from when old people like me went through high school, and you guys are doing some really neat things.
Yeah, it was really cool at those tours seeing like how much AV is going to grow, because we asked every group like if they were interested in AV, and it seemed like every time we saw at least half the hands go up. So
yeah, it's one. I mean, definitely. I mean, we got so many great programs, but it's one of the coolest ones that we have going. And it's really a hallmark of when I go and speak to people about great things that are going on in White County. You know, this program always comes up because it stands out.
Yeah, it's awesome to be a part of it.
Little unknown fact. When I started college, I wanted to be a sound engineer. And I've done a lot of, that's how I got in. I did a lot of, audio stuff. I've DJed. I was in a band, played a little guitar, for a time, and just worked with a lot of PAs. And I was going to UT to do sound engineering. I was taking some theater and lighting classes, learning some of that. And they really, at the time, they said, you really can't do that at UT. They said, now they have a pretty good program, I understand. But at the time, they said, you're going to have to transfer to Mitsu. That's just where that was going on at the time. So I was in the process of transferring to Mitsu to do sound engineering, and I met this girl from Sparta. And it all changed after that. So next thing I knew, I transferred back to Tennessee Tech and got married, and haven't regret. She may have regretted it, but that's how I wound up in education. But I've always had kind of an interest in this kind of production, and still do.
Yeah. Well, Ms. Dronebarger, she is a sweetheart. She's the best. She's kind of the Renaissance man for Move to Stand, obviously, and I've been involved in that since last year when it started. And she's just great to interact with, and just she's such a kind, genuine heart.
Thank you. Yeah, she's kind of our school social worker, so to speak, and does a lot for our county. Again, that was strange having Cameron on. Have a third Dronebarger in the system. It's unheard of. But I told the school board when we stole her away from Putnam County, she'd been there for 20 years working in that role and done some great work. She just got recognized at the governor's house, at the governor's mansion a few weeks ago for her service for 27 years of Family Resource Center service, and doing a great job. And I told the school board when we hired her, I said, I know exactly how this looks with her last name, but trust me, I said, long after you fire me, you're going to be glad you had Beverly Dronebarger on the payroll. So.
Well, it's kind of been a tradition to talk about ChatGPT, it seems like, on every podcast. Okay. Have you messed with that at all?
Not a lot. I've checked it out, and it's interesting. I've followed some other podcasts and things talking about it. Kind of can be kind of scary thinking about it in the future of where AI might go, and so something we definitely need to keep an eye on. And talk to Elon Musk, he's got concerns there. But I've not done a lot of ChatGPT, but it's interesting for sure.
You could use it for some press releases, just
yeah. As long as we're not using it for like English papers and things that we're turning in. So, but it's very interesting technology, and it's eerily accurate. When you type in something, you say, print me out something on this. I mean, the way it finds. That network finds information and puts it together. It's a little scary for people my age, and but it's certainly interesting, and be interesting to see how we can. I'm interested in seeing how we can use AI in general, to benefit us. There are certainly some theories out there, some dangers that might be if it gets in the wrong hands or it gets out of control. But we're excited to see how it might help us in education for sure.
How is just not specifically AI but technology? I'm sure through your you started in the prehistoric age. That's what we said. That's what we said about Miss Hawkins last episode. I don't know if she's heard that one yet, but I remember in elementary school was the first time we got the iPad cart, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then obviously the Chromebooks now. But how's that all changed?
Well, technology, it changes faster than you can keep up with it. And that's, you all have seen that just in your lifetime. It just every new iPhone does something new and incredible, and we've seen that. I remember when I was a social studies teacher, I used to have. Do you remember? Did you ever see those Channel 1 TVs? That some of them still exist. They were up on the wall,
corner.
Big box. Yeah. So when that was going away in the early 90s, I gathered up all the ones that people weren't using, and I created stations. So like every 4 or 5 desks in my room had a TV in front of it, and I had wires run through the ceiling before the fire marshal said no. And I would send stuff from my computer to the screen so everybody could. This is because you didn't have projection televisions, and you didn't have really LCD projectors and all that sort of stuff. And I remember I eventually moved on to that, but I remember a person walking by and saying, "Are you the technology teacher?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just a social studies teacher that stole everybody's TVs. But it's amazing how it's changed, and just in my career. I mean, I'm about 27 years in, and we've gone so far from that. I mean, we're projecting things, holographic images, and just crazy things that we would have never conceived of back then. So, it's a challenge. Our technology department, Ashley Rust, her team do a great job of keeping us connected and keeping us moving forward. And, folks like Miss Allen and Mr. Dronebarger are doing a good job, in this program. But technology in general just continues to evolve, and it's, it's a challenge to keep up with it. By the time you implement an idea, okay, we're going to buy Chromebooks, and then you go through the budget process and procuring, the devices and getting the money all lined up. And by the time you do it, there's probably a new mousetrap out there that you want to consider. So it's a challenge, but it's a fun one because it's always exciting.
Yeah, well, it's not only just for education, but even safety. I know the post the other day I read how when visitors come into their office in any school, right, in White County, have to scan your driver's license, and then it prints out a little thing with your name. So I mean, technology can be not just for saving paper.
Yeah, not just Chromebooks. Yeah, you're right. And we've done a lot with technology, and we do a lot of different safety features and things that we can't go into all the details and tell trade secrets. But we do a lot. Yeah, the visitor management system we've put in all schools. It scans your license, does a quick background check on you, and
that's awesome.
And that's been really well received. We'll see when we have a big assembly, and there's a lot of people having to come through. But we're going to try and scan those a little quicker, and there's some ways we can do that. But at the end of the day, just trying to keep our schools safe, and I think that's been well received. They've respected that. They understand, that comes with some drawbacks. But that's a neat feature, and being able to scan people that come in, knowing who's in the buildings, where, and keeping kids safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's been a big one these past couple of years, especially. Just even we talked about it with Coach D, other Coach D.
Yeah.
Just in our 4 years of high school, how much more lockdown it's had to be, and that's just unfortunate with how the whole world is. Obviously, it hasn't really touched. It's getting kind of close to home, but not too close to home yet. But it's good that we're being preventative.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I say all the time, I don't know if you can stop crazy, but but you got to do everything you can to prevent it and deter it. And I think we're doing a good job of that. We're trying every day. Our teachers are being vigilant and trying to look out for those things. We're trying we're not propping doors. We're keeping doors locked. We're being where we're supposed to be. Teachers are on duty. Just on and on. And then you throw in all the technological things that we're doing. So just a lot going on. It's sad. It's something that we didn't even have to consider, a couple of decades ago, that we didn't think about. It comes down to the way we build schools now are just different based on that sort of thing. So it's a sad reality, but reality nonetheless, and one that we, continue to strive to do well in.
Right. Well, you have a busy day ahead of you?
I do. I mean, there's always things going on. My job kind of comes to me. There are a lot of things that are on the schedule and, handle. But I'm kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of the CEO of the. So it kind of, all things kind of fall under me. But we have lots of great people that run departments and things. So, but I have some good things sprinkled in amongst the tedious ones. I mean, this was a great opportunity this morning. I think I've got a pumpkin judging contest going on at Doyle a little bit later today. And so, those are the best parts. When I get to get out of the building and be around students and do some fun things. But always a busy week. Later this week, I'm going to. I think I'm taking a quick trip to Indianapolis to support the FFA. Got a national award that they're being recognized for, so I'll take a lightning quick trip up there and back. And some neat things on the horizon and scheduled this week amongst some other things that are just business we got to take care of. So.
All right, sweet. Well, if there's nothing specific, what'd you say? Okay, well, we're wrapping up. That's perfect. The camera only records at 30 minutes. You have to start another one.
That's about all anybody can handle of me. That's probably good.
You got pumpkin judging, we got to get you. Get you on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's nothing else specific you want to bring up.
I'm just telling you, I'm really proud of our school system. It's not perfect. We've got things that go wrong from time to time, but we always face those things head on and those challenges and address them and learn from them and try and grow and get better. But I'm really, really proud overall of the people that we have in our school system and the job that they do day in and day out. They really do love kids, work hard and pursue excellence, and I couldn't be more proud to represent them and be able to go out there as the leader of this great district and support them.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for your time,
Yeah,
Mr.
thank
D.
you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.